YouTubers, Trouble8385 here with YouTube Gaming Community number 79. So first things first, before I start off with anything else, the completionist wanted me to let you know that starting May 10th through, I believe he said August, that he will be off YouTube. He's going away for work and he won't be able to make videos till then, so he'll be gone and off YouTube. So hopefully he's gets back safe and soon. So now let's get to comments from the last video, and the first one is by Duke Magnum, and his is: the first part of your video about hacking devices isn't really true, although I do generally agree on your outlook in general. New exemptions to the DMCA were added last year that made it legal to hack or jailbreak devices. Although a home game console like the PS3 is not explicitly mentioned, it is likely court would have extended such protection to hackers of game consoles. What the outcome of SCEA versus Holtz, provided the case was decided in court, they settled out of court. Now, right now I am looking into whether you truly own your electronic device or not, because I said a couple people said I was wrong. So I'm still looking into it. It's going to take a while, because you not only do you got to look at federal courts and did federal lawmakers make a law on it, which so far it doesn't seem like it, but also, you know, and then you got the DMCA and articles and all this other stuff. Then did a state court rule on this, or did a state make a law on it? Because once you set legal precedent, then other people usually follow. Like once that state starts a legal precedent, there's usually other states that end up following eventually. I did only seen one article, and until I have more sources, I can say it's fact. It was saying that they did make an exemption where the PS3 and Xbox home consoles would be exempt from that law, but again, you never know, because DMCA, it could be the law could say, hey, this is what the law is, but this, and this is exempt from it, or this, and this has to have this happen. So you wish laws were just clean and cut and make it a lot easier. Next up is Viper29. If you did not know, he got his old channel back, and we do own the system. I'm sorry, if you buy a system, you own the damn system. You're thinking of Windows license, now that you just own a license. First things first, find me a law that says that. Find me a law that says you own your video game system. Your electronic device is what it's classified as. That's all I ask. I'll admit if I'm wrong. I will say this, that the companies would love, because I have yet to find a ruling on it, but the company, I know, I've also heard some of the articles I saw was that the companies are trying, because there's no law, I guess, once a law doesn't exist yet on something, the companies would love to try to legally make it where you don't own it, obviously. But there is a difference between social acceptance and legally, because socially, a lot of circles, it's acceptable to download music, movies, so forth, illegally, whereas legally, it's illegal. You'll go to jail. There's a difference between legal and what's socially acceptable. Sometimes common sense, of course, we all know common sense doesn't apply to law more times than not. So common sense, you think I own it, doesn't mean you do. So still digging. Next up, John Connor 333. When in college, I was dirt poor, so yes, I modded my PlayStation to playbacks, so I could continue gaming. Now that I have a job, my gaming hobby consists of collecting games for nostalgia. Yes, even the ones I have backup copies of. I do think there's a lot of times where a lot of people out there are in a very tight money situation or bad time in their life, and they can't afford to do anything, so they may download and try a game or something, and then later on when they have the money, they buy that game. Or sometimes mod their systems. There are people who mod their older systems, like the Xbox, not the 360 but the Xbox, and they put a lot of the older system games on it. Next up is mp4podcast.com. Why I think Sony was wrong to go after that kid, and here's my reasons why. Hackers have friends, and they will stick up for one of their own. 2, if Sony never dropped Linux support, there'd be no problem. Sometimes it's better just to walk away and drop it, because if you do not, you're going to open Pandora's box. Now, it was kind of funny that Sony got rid of Linux support right as Linux was starting. They were starting to make Linux work properly on the PS3. But I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, right? For Sony, right? Okay, do they let the person get away for doing this so they don't want anybody else to do it, or once the media gets a hold of everything, it becomes a mess anyway? So sometimes it is better just not to do anything at all than to do something. Next up is Old School NYC Gamer. Sony had the right to do this if it was and did affect their sales of business. It sucks, but that's life. And that's the main reason why this becomes a problem. If the PS3, its life cycle had been over, and they did this, no one would care, right? If he had shown this at some kind of tech show, or he just would have done it and never say anything, nothing would have happened. But my question, is it acceptable if people mod their systems like we've seen with the NES toaster and Commodore 64 remade computers, etc.? See, I'm not against people modding their system to make it better. I'm not against people modding their system to make the most out of it as they can. Personally, I mean, modding is good. In a lot of ways, modding is very good. I mean, in a lot of ways, if you look at older systems, people mod their system to get functionality and things out of it that never were originally imagined from those systems, or people thought could be done. My opinion on posting too many videos in a short amount of time feels like, with the popularity of the channel, they just keep pumping out more and the content suffers. Now, this is where a true fact that I do think there are a lot of people out there who put videos out too quickly, that their videos don't grow legs, you might say, or breathe, where sometimes the first day or two your videos won't get a lot of views, but sometimes it may be the third or fourth day that all of a sudden, or by the end of that week, all of a sudden your video may have 1,000 views. I mean, sometimes people cut their video short. If your video is gaining a lot of views and it keeps gaining, sometimes it's better not to put out the next video. Sometimes it's better to hold it off. So, next up is Nescapades, and his is interesting thoughts on the Sony debacle. I personally think many have overreacted, but that may be because this isn't the first time or last time our info will be compromised. I have a credit card info stolen from my online realtors twice over the past 15 years, and everyone acts like Sony is the only one that this has happened to. People need to watch their statements closely, since the card companies protect you in cases like this. I just want my PSN back and get back to gaming. Now, if you have a good bank, truthfully, I know my bank has done this in the past, they watch your spending habits, and if they see something out of the ordinary, they'll say, hey, like today, I got a letter in the mail from my bank today. It was only a $20 purchase, but they had asked, you never shopped there, or we've never seen this kind of purchase. Did you purchase this? Or sometimes your bank will see, if you spend a lot, like more than you normally spend, go out of your normal spending habits, they'll ask, hey, did you do this? We're just making sure that you did. And a lot of times your credit card companies do have protections, or you say, hey, I didn't buy this, and they'll say okay, and they'll just cancel it and they won't pay for it. But this is going to happen again. People are going to have to, I know this fallacy that your information is private is actually not true. Go to Facebook. A lot of you people put your name, where you live at, where you went to high school, your likes, your dislikes, your children's picture, your personal pictures, your personal videos, much more personal stuff about your life than you ever do on YouTube. I mean, that's the catch-22. You could type your telephone number in or your name in Google, and you'll find your address and your name, and there's Google Maps, so you can find exactly where you live. As for the credit card stuff, this does suck. It really does. I mean, we're still in the very early ages, by the way, of consumer buying online. There are going to be more mistakes. A freaking government agency, the same week that Sony's PS3 got hacked, an agency whose sole job is to advise people and to counter this stuff, got hacked in the same week. And it was their job. How did they get hacked? By phishing. What they did was they bombarded all the people in that federal agency with emails saying it was an official thing about their retirement package. They had the exact letterhead of their company. They had the exact, everything looked perfect. And it took one employee to click on it. One employee to click on it for their virus to kick in, and they took about 1 gigabyte of information. Social engineering is, by the way, one of the worst things. Social engineering is the reason why a lot of these things happen. When someone calls you on the phone and says, hey, I'm from your credit card company, we need your information, more than not, most people actually answer these people, never questioning, are they really from my company? Who is actually calling me? Prove it. So next up is by 8-Bit Goomba. As long as you mod your own property and you have no bad intentions, I see no problem with it. It is interesting to know I do not own something I paid for I do not own something I paid for $300 for. Hackers have their purposes in the world, but it does bother me that people are smart enough to have bad intentions and the ability to apply them. I have a problem with posting many pickup videos myself, but with that being said, I usually have a good amount and not just one game. I agree with your passionate thoughts. Next up is Olds X Cool, and his is, modding your own console is fine. You have the freedom to do whatever you want to, whatever you buy. However, sharing information of how you exploit the console openly so others can do it and expecting Sony to take it lying down is just plain stupid. You can say all day that the exploit wasn't meant for piracy, but who exploits sometimes not wanting to get stuff for free? There are people who don't, but there are a small majority. It's simple. If you mod, keep it to yourself. So, this is going to be a long video today. Really long, actually. So, let's get channels to check out. And the first one is James is my bro. He has 36 subs. He does collection, review, pickups. He's done video game drawings, gameplay, controllers, and a lot more on his channel. He also wanted me to recommend, here is a really good channel you could probably do in your next vid. And it was gamercast.net. I'll put a link to the channel below. That's a channel called gamercast.net. They are girl gamers, twins. They have pickup videos, which ironically the last pickup video was 40 minutes long, but they do pickup videos. They have 1,027 subs, so if you're interested, check that channel out. Next up, suggestion to shout out is from IceHawk5555, and he had, first channel he wanted me to shout out is 8 Comic Book Nerd 9. He has 529 subs. He does collection. He has prototypes, limited editions, pickups, package, spoofs, reviews, and top 10s. The second channel you want me to shout out is Ellie is Left, and his description is, the second is a girl who I recently stumbled upon, does reviews in a style I haven't seen before, hand-drawn picture cards and voice over, and all of her series are called Ellie Versus, and she does use cards while she's talking with pictures or words to prove her points of her review of that game or she's talking about. Really interesting, really cool. Check it out. And last but not least, if you do not know, there's a new podcast out there called Online Gaming Warriors. I will link to their YouTube channel below. It is done by LMA187, Jay Blackheart, Amy Bros. I know Derek Completionist was on it, and I know Nemesis has been on it. And they have their own podcast, so if you're interested, check out their channel, and they'll have links there to get to the actual, if you want to listen to the actual podcast. So, we have a lot of videos to get to today, and the first one is by none other than Chipsturs, My Sega Saturn Review, where he does review the system and the games. It is a system that I've never actually owned. I went actually straight from the Genesis to the Dreamcast. Next up is HitomiLove's Finest Episode 2, where he shows off a PS2 Xenosaga 1 limited edition, which I guess he originally saw, I believe it was Splatter Trigger's video. So check out his video, it's really cool, and then below is the link to the channel he actually got inspiration to get this from. Next up is DInkyDana, TooManyGames 2011, AngryVideoGameNerd, Cosplay Girls, and Games. He went to the TooManyGames 2011 game convention where he met AngryVideoGameNerd, who was signing stuff, and he took a picture with him. He also met Cosplay Girls. He shows a lot of cool debuts of cool games and what he picked up there. You should check that out. Next up is Cherubiceindigo Bethesda, BRINK, and being a female in-game. One thing she talks about in this video is how, she was looking forward to BRINK, but one thing she's talking about is how a lot of these games, and I know this is multiplayer, where there's female gamers are now becoming a bigger part of the gaming population, right? It used to be only guys, but now girls are part of the population. And one thing she's bringing up, especially in multiplayer, is how they do not have a girl character for girls to play online. And that needs to change. If you want more girls to get involved in gaming, you have to, and part of that is because, let's be honest, mostly guys make games right now. And as that changes, hopefully you will get more females in multiplayer, so the girls can feel like they connect more to the character than some big muscle guy. Of course, there's a lot of guys that don't connect to the big muscle macho guy either. Next up is ReviewTechUSA's I Can't Defend Consoles Anymore. Okay, let's get to this video. This video basically says how he is now, or changed his view, and he's more PC or much better than consoles. The truth of the matter is, whatever you prefer is fine, whether it be PC or home console. Why the line is getting on every day is getting blurred between what the difference between a computer and a home console, because they do a lot of the same things now. They have a lot of the same flaws and all such and sorts. So if you're interested in seeing his reviews, check out that video. I do think playing a PC game and playing a console game are two totally different animals, but check it out. Next is RedSouthCIty Missing Code Top Gear Overdrive N64, where they show you them. They have in the description. They actually have what to do. Where they show you the hot dog you can ride around in this game with, or the taco, or the Nintendo Power Car, or the N64 car. So if you've never seen that from Top Gear Overdrive, check it out. Next is PicadoaGamer's YouTube community shoutouts. I left him a comment to the video. He said, but he basically a year ago he's supposed to make this video where he shouts out people in the community. This is part 1. He said it'll probably be a 3-parter, so if you're interested, check it out. Next up is Mnopxs2 My Dying NES. If you want to see her playing Dr. Mario and Tetris and showing how her NES is acting up while she's playing, check that out. Next up is the Goon02 N1-5 Quickjoy Controller. If you've never seen this for the NES, check it out. It's really cool. Next is 1UP Game Over, unboxing of the Commodore Amiga 1200 and some games and apps. If you've never seen the Commodore Amiga 1200 or the disc games, check it out. Next is Jboypacman Space Invaders Plug and Play. The plug and play looks really cool, and see him actually play it. Check it out. Which reminds me, Guitar Leaf wants me to do a gameplay of that Hannah Montana plug and play. I got my pickup video, and this week I am going to open it up and I'm going to put a video on it just because he wanted me to. So check that out. Next up is Monte Carlo 10-254 update. You may not be aware, but Monte Carlo earlier in the week put up a video saying he was leaving YouTube. He was gone. And this video, I believe, was posted the 8th or 9th, basically saying he had a lot of personal things going on in his life, which we all do, and because of all that, he deleted his videos and thought he was going to leave YouTube. But he changed his mind, and in the video, he talks about what had gone on in his life and what he's going to do with his channel. So, and also in the video, another person who's pointed out that they were just buying games just to make videos, that they weren't buying games that they actually had memories or connections to. So, next up, Blacklily8 Mat Chat 100, Max Payne and More with Scott Miller. Congratulate him for getting to the 100th episode of the show. And if you want to hear a lot of cool stuff about 3D Realms and their games, check. This is the 3rd part of the video. If you want to check out 99, which actually they talk about Duke Nukem. Next up is Nemesis3561 AfterBurner Climax review. He has a new intro and a new way of doing his reviews. I know I've talked to him about it. He's really happy about the way they turned out. So check out that video. Next up is the last page. Finally, is RetroGamerVX's Tag Generations. Now, this tag is what generation do you consider to be given the biggest leap in technology? Which tomorrow I'm actually going to do a video response to this tag. So, if you're interested, check out the video, make a video response, or leave a comment to his video. Next up is Gamester81, VictorMaxx Stuntmaster Virtual Reality Headset for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. If you've never seen one, you know what amazes me about YouTube, to be honest with you, people's channels, is there are so many things for these systems that I never knew existed, peripheries and stuff that I never knew even ever came out for these systems, that I don't find until I see someone's actual video like this. Next up is Night Ram Earthbound Mother Merchandise Collection Part 1, game figures, plushies, and more. He has a really cool Japanese Mother 1 and 2 art book. Check out a lot of cool stuff. Next up is Elwood. Hi, Where's the Cheese Part 1? He's back on YouTube again, so if you're interested, check out his video. He has some pickups in the video also. Next up is 16-Bit Gaming E3 2011 Tag, which earlier in the week I did get tagged and I did make a response to this video. But basically it's 2 questions. What do you think Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are going to do? And what games are you most looking forward to being shown or surprised at E3? Next up is Nerox Great Arcade Music EDF Earth Defense Force Naval Battle OST. I just love video game music, so check that out. Next up is Triforce Films Minecraft Song Minecraft Every Day a cappella cover multi-track version. On the middle of the screen they show Minecraft playing as you show all of his cappella versions of himself singing or doing something for the song. A really cool song, check it out. And then Knight Rider Gamer, another tag Summer Games. What 5 games do you plan on beating over the summer? And it's another video I need to do a tag response to over the week. I'm gonna have a lot of videos this week, obviously. Next is J Mixer Productions Michael the 16-Bit Tribute Album Human Nature Genesis. In the description it says, with the anniversary of his passing not too far away now, I am making a mixtape / album in tribute of Dat Boy MJ. I call it Michael the 16-Bit Tribute Album. This is the first one of the songs on it in 16-bit form. Check it out, it's real cool. Next up is Blue Tonic 78, Wednesday week number 8, 1995 through 1998, the 32 and 64-bit invasion. So if you're interested, check that out. All the other 7 have been really cool because they pick specific years and generations of going over consoles and stuff. Next up is Player Slots Filled, a room tour and game setup by Ruzo893. Next up is The Last Gamer Tube Episode 2, Gradius Review. This is a review of the entire Gradius and Salamander series. So if you're a big fan of that or have never seen those, check that video out. And last but not least, Wang the Zombies, Wang Reviews, Cosmos Gang the Video, Super Nintendo / Super Famicom, which is a game I've never seen until this video, I'll be honest with you. Now, for our topic for the last video, since I have not got to it, and this is a fun topic for me, what game from any prior generation, meaning starts from the PS2 down, would you love to see an HD remake? In other words, basically up-resing the game you love, not changing it, keeping the same. Maybe you can change the controls if you don't like it, but keeping the same game. What game would you love? And you can go all the way back to entire 2600 game if you want to. What game would you love see them make an HD remake of? And leave your comments below, and I'll read some of them in the next video. So, guys, that's all for this video, as long as it may be. So, see you next time.